Oh my goodness, that wakes me up every time. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Art of Intuition. No, it's not a podcast, at least said the podcast. This is your live flower reading, your weekly live flower reading. I'm Susan Jane, your host for this flower reading. But first of all, today we start with the moon cycles and what they're doing. Now, I had this amazing workshop yesterday. I've just got to tell you about it. So it was a private workshop. There was only 4 people, 2 couples that were at this workshop. And it was all about flower readings and really connecting with your intuition. It was such an amazing space. I have not done a group workshop for a small group like that. So it was really enjoyable watching these people get their aha moments from the images that they have created in this workshop. They create the flower images and then we do a reading on it. It was just amazing. So it was just very, very excited. I came off on a high. It was really cool. But anyway, what's happening this week in the moon cycles? Now, as I've explained to you before, I owned a 90-acre organic crop farm, and I used to do all of my planting in regards to the moon cycle. So what the moon cycle was doing, whether I should be planting this type of crop or even just for the backyard, what I was planting and what needed to be done. So I got into the moon cycles as far as planting goes, and I've used them a lot. And because I'm doing flower readings now, oops, I better just actually add on the chats. Because I'm doing flower readings now, to me, it coincides with the moon cycles as well and how I was doing those readings. So I'm bringing you like a collective group for the moon cycles. So this week we're actually into the first quarter. So it's the waxing gibbous this week. And it's all about the moonlight is stronger. It's at its strongest now, and it's heading towards that full moon. So the soil is actually releasing its nutrients and the energy is drawn up. Okay, so this is a time when the growth is increased. Now, when we're looking at sowing, we're sowing plants that fruit or that flower, that produce fruit or flower. So it's a really good time for the flowers now, this week. Now, when that coincides with flower readings, the goals that we want to concentrate on this week are our relationship goals and our wealth goals. Now, the relationship goals are thoughtful ones. The wealth goals are more focused. The flower areas that we look at with these is in the relationship goal, we look at the petals, what we're attracting. In the wealth goal, we can look at the center, what our passion is, what our love is. So the center is the love area, and it's a lot to do with our passion and our drive. So they're the areas we're going to look at today in today's flower readings. Now, the other area I want to talk about in the first quarter is the waxing gibbous. It's about the trust mastery. Now, this time, this week, is all about self-confidence. We need to be focusing more on our self-confidence. We're having a look at our self-confidence there. Now, when we look at the physical side of self-confidence, we go into self-appreciation, and you can do something like list the successes that you've come through, because often we get to a certain spot and we sort of go, oh, no, I'm not getting where I want to be. But when we start to look back and have a look and list some of the successes that we've had, we start to see where we've come to and how far we've come to. So that self-appreciation starts to really kick in. When we look at the mental side of it, we start to look at self-care this week. So be patient and consistent and know your triggers. So it's all about understanding that we're going to have these issues, these things that are happening, these relationship situations and wealth situations, but you need to be aware of what is triggering you and is that's true to you, because a lot of the triggers that we have can often be from past experiences. Now, if you're watching live, just say hi. If you give Instagram, if you give StreamYard access to your picture, I can see who you are. But all you need to do is pick a number between 1 and 100, and I will do a flower reading on that. If you can't stay around, that's fine. Just pop your number up and I can put it in. You can catch the replay a bit later. So give us your number. I am going to be doing number 11 for Belinda when I do the first flower reading. So say hi and jump on board. So the mental side, again, and is self-confidence in this first quarter of the moon phase, and we need to be patient and consistent with ourselves and know those triggers, know what's triggering us. Emotionally is all about self-worth. So you see yourself from another perspective. Often our self-worth is affected at this particular time. We start getting that false identity. Good morning from India. I know who that one is. Pick a number, please, and don't pick the same number as last week either. So it's all about seeing yourself from another perspective. Often when we look at ourselves from a third party, we can see a more of a holistic view. We tend to, when we're in our own body and just looking at ourselves as we are, we tend to be sort of, not seeing ourselves from another perspective. So jump outside and have a look at how you're going and what you're doing and see yourself from that way. Spiritually, it is about self-reflect this week. So only you are in charge of you, but it's understanding who you actually are. So self-reflecting gives you an understanding of how you do things, how you systematically do things, if that's how you do it, what your go-to is. You start to get an understanding of it. There's been situations in my life and that I've experienced and I've not known what it is, especially experiencing as a younger person, not understanding what that is until I have read a book or listened to a podcast or got a different understanding of it. Then I can reflect back, looking at it in a different perspective and getting a different understanding of who I was and why I did it the way I did it. So they're the moon cycles for this week. Let me hide that. So the moon cycles for this week. You are gorgeous. I am going to let me just move that. Okay, we're going to do some flower readings. And the first one I want to do is for Belinda because I missed her last week and she chose a number 11. So I'm going to show you that flower and you will see what number 11 is. It is really quite gorgeous. Okay, let me get myself out of the way. Okay, Belinda, this is your flower for this week. Now, this week, I'm going to actually focus on the goals that we're looking at because I'm not sure what your goal was. So we're going to look at wealth and relationship goals, so financial and relationship goals. So when I look at this picture, if you're going through your wealth aspect, I would see this as make sure you've got lots of areas that you're looking at with wealth. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. This is really, really clear in the fact of the abundance of all these images, all these flowers. So it's saying to you, don't put all your eggs in one basket if it's wealth. Put some money aside for here, put some in investment, put some in cryptocurrency, put some in the bank, put some in a house, put them around in different areas so you're not congregating it all into one space. So that's what I would say with your wealth in that aspect. If it was relationships, I would turn around and say you're better off at the moment in having that group of like-minded people in relationships than you are actually targeting in one particular area. So if you are looking for a partner, now is not the time. It is more important at the moment for you to be looking at more of this group situation. If you're looking for a partner there, that's where you would find them. If you're not looking for a partner and we're talking about relationships, I would be saying your relationships you need to be looking at are more of that group aspect. All right. So the relationships are going to be through like-minded people. The relationships are going to be more closer to how you are and how you think and who you are and what you do. So they're going to be really, really, can you pull a card suggesting financial trends for the next 10 years? If yes, choose number 27. Okay. I don't know who that one is, but I will do that. The trends for the next 10 years. Well, that's going to be interesting. Whew, okay. But anyway, back to you, Belinda. Sorry. We're looking at, if it was a financial one, spread them all out. If it is a relationship one and you're looking for a partner, don't focus on the partner, focus on the group at this particular stage. And when we look at your image, and I'll just bring it over. So when we look at your image, we see these are the actual flowers. These are bracts. So the bracts are what are attracting it, not the flower, not the actual goal. So if we look at that as far as a relationship goes, it is not you that are attracting, it's not the goal that's attracting a partner or a relationship. It's the actual bract, it's on the outside. So you're actually putting it all out there, but you might not necessarily, and it looks good. You know what this reminds me of? When we look at those people that are key influencers, when we see them on Instagram, they're putting everything out there for you to see, but they're not putting the true area of them. They're putting out what they want you to see, not necessarily how they really are. So, hi, Leah. Yes, I can do number 52 for you. So, Belinda, that was yours. That was your number 11. And that's beautiful. I love the bougainvilleas. All right, so I'm looking at the next one. So I think this is, can you pull a card? Well, it's not a card. I can do a flower, and we'll have a look at see what the flower says. So it's number 27 that you want, and you want to look at this flower. Oh my goodness, put me on the spot, why don't you? Okay, let's see how we go with this one. See what comes up. Right. Okay, so this is about the financial trends for the next 10 years. What am I picking up with that? When we look at this flower down below, we can see if we called these flowers your trends, then there's two big main ones, and obviously there's lots behind it as far as that. There's going to be two main main financial trends over the next 2 years, two main ones. Now, we can see some of these have wasted away. Some of them are finishing, not wasted away. They are finishing. So they're no longer here. Leah, if you have to go, I will still do your reading, and you can catch the replay. Big day for you today, hey, and tomorrow. Oh, you have to tell me about it. Okay, so the financial trends, when we're looking at them, we've got two main trends coming forward here for in the next 10 years. There's going to be a lot of other stuff in the background that is, you can see it, it's blurry. It's not all coming through. It's not clear. There's only two here that are clear, that are coming through. And we've got a few that are wasting away, that are going to the wayside. Now, I've got into cryptocurrency. It was booming, and then it's sort of completely died off. So I don't know whether that's going to be the situation or not. But when we look at these two trends, there's one path for the two of them that you can see that is strong, you can see. So what I'm suggesting is that these particular trends, these financial trends over the next 10 years, are coming from one stem, from one path, and then splitting, multiplying off. So if it is a financial trend for, say, let me think. If it was a financial trend, say, for looking at changing the world into a green planet, you know how we're looking at all the green, all the organic, all the natural side of things, I would say that you're going to have this quite a strong and distinct pathway, but it's actually going to branch out a little bit and not necessarily bring you one result. It's going to create two results. And when we look at the colors, I look at yellow as joy, and I look at the purple as very spiritual, but also purple can be finance as well. Purple has a resemblance of wealth. So there's a lot of that area in it. As far as a direct financial trend, it's not coming to me. This petal here is saying something, because it's actually, when you look at the flowers, they're looking at you. This particular petal is looking up towards a more spiritual connotation. And when we look at all these ones in the back, they're all more of a spiritual, whereas these ones are more of a physical aspect. So when we're looking at that too, these physical aspects of, the physical aspects, when you look at money, the physical aspects are those physical things that you're looking at, whereas these are more of a spiritual. So when we look at, say, finances, cash is that physical, and yet the other area at the top, the soft there, that's more of a spiritual. You could almost go, that could be crypto. That could be that sort of financial where you're doing it all money in moneyless society. So that could be that area. But he's just given me a little bit more of an understanding. He's planning a venture in making a medical university in the future. And he's got there, many flowers may suggest students. And you are very, very right. If this is for your business rather than the financial year or financial trends, if you're looking at this as a business side of it, which is a part of your finance, there's two main areas in here. And I would say that would be you and a partner. Okay, so you're going to be partnering with somebody to get this university off and running. That makes more sense to me. You've had other areas there which have died off. There's still a lot of other spiritual sides to it, and a lot more, like you say, backing, and that's all behind you. So as a image there regarding creating this university in the future, medical university, yes, you need to have that very, very strong partnership first before you go any further, because you're going to get all this backing that's just sort of going to come out of nowhere. So the finance side of that, rather than a trend, it's all about getting an understanding of your financial side of there. Don't be disappointed if somebody says they're going to do something and it falls away because they're not the right person. Okay, focus on getting a good partnership. And if you get that good partnership to start with and one sort of falls away, that's just signifying that. And as that falls away, the other will come through a lot stronger. So it is going to happen. Time frames in there. It's right in the center. It's right now. Okay, so this is happening now. This is so you've already got those connections. You've already got that understanding of who could be connected with you. That makes more sense. When you say financial trends for 10 years, wow, that throws me, but that makes sense if you're planning on doing a university in the future, and I can see you doing that. You don't stop, do you? Hey, it's gorgeous. All right, next one is you, Lee. Where are you, Lee? 52. Okay, Leah, you're 52. I'm going to start changing these flowers around too, so you don't know what numbers they're going to be. Come on, open up. I'll show you this one. Now, I was wondering what yours is about. Share screen. And I think I will stick with what we're talking about as far as the growth, new growth. Oh, it looks a bit small. Let me open it up, see if I can get it bigger for you. Does that help? Oh, yeah, look at that, baby. Wow. That is gorgeous. Now, you know what's unusual about this? The first thing that jumps into my head about this, that picture is actually on the side. So it is actually a landscape. It should be a portrait, but it's actually come through as a landscape. How random is that? And of course, landscape means it's more of a negative connotation, but more of a community connotation. Now, when we say negative, we don't mean it in a bad way, but often when you look at something that you're creating, say this was wealth or this was a relationship, we're looking at it more of a group, and you can often see something in that group or in that situation where there's something negative happening and you want to step in and help. So that's when I say as a negative. So even though that image was originally a portrait image, it's come through as a landscape. So I want to focus on that because I think that's really, really important. There's a real message behind that. What you thought you were doing for yourself, you're actually doing for a greater community, because you can see that maybe you've been hurt, maybe you've had a situation where you actually want to help others get through the same sort of situation. So we can see it that way. As a relationship goal, the flower is towards the right, which means the relationship is coming to you. Now it's pink, it's soft, it's very feminine. It's not masculine in any way, shape or form. So I would be suggesting that this, and being pink is feminine too, I would suggest this is going to be a very nurturing relationship if that was coming through. If it's a finance, I also see it as very nurturing as a finance too. So it's not about doing the hard yards and pushing and demanding and the expectation, that big hard push for it. It's about just allowing it to come through. It's allowing it to flow. It's allowing it to be there. It's allowing it to be how you see it, how you want to see it. Just developing and growing at the same time. But high up here, we have this little bud coming through. Now, if that picture was actually portrait, that would be coming through in the future. Because it's this way, it's coming through spiritually. So this new bud is being created from your intuition, from your spirit. So there's this new goal that's coming through at the same time. And you may start to see glimpses of that this week. But this week, it's all about, allowing you to go with the flow. I just see that going with the flow. And it's almost like you can see that image going across the page, can't you? Like from the future to the past, you can almost see it just moving across, and you allowing that nurturing and that loving aspect to come through all the way. So that's how I see that image for you. Now, if it's finance, it's still the same. Allow it to come through, allow it to develop and grow. And then this could be a financial goal coming through. If it's relationships, the same thing, allow it to come through. You have got a few guides down there, but because we're talking about attraction, the petals, and we're talking about the heart center. Now, we can't see your heart center in this one. We know that there's a heart center there because roses do have them, but we can't see it. So what it's sort of suggesting is at the moment, it does not need to be exposed. If it's a relationship goal, it doesn't need to be exposed. It's the attraction. That's all about the attraction at the moment, not necessarily the heart at this stage. And honestly, sometimes it's nice to keep that heart closed and expose it when and if it is the right person. If it's a financial goal, you often don't need a heart center in a financial goal, because a financial goal is more about the physical side of life. It's more about having the roof over their head, having the money, being able to spend, being able to create, being able to buy whatever you want. And the money isn't the heart center. The results of having the money become the heart. I hope that makes sense for you. I just quickly sent you an email to Leah about the weekend as well. So I do apologize for not getting back to you sooner. I did check early in the morning, but it didn't. All work this week. Oh, okay. So you are working all week. Good on you, Leah. All right. That is yours. I hope that has helped you. I do have to do one. I like to do one for Brian. He always pops on and says hello. He doesn't often get here on time. So what I do with Brian, I do a random one for him. Now, where's my random? So I have a little random picker. Let me make it 100. And done. Okay, right, it's working. So this is Brian. This is Brian's 42. I didn't just do 42 then, did I? No, 52. 42 for yours, Brian. This is for you this week. Yeah. It's funny that this is just a little dandelion, what people would often refer to as a weed. But you know what? I just love them. And dandelions are really, really, really important for the bees. One of the major things for allowing, because they grow everywhere, they come up everywhere. They're just such a versatile little weed. They're gorgeous. And of course I love it when they I love the changes you can see with a dandelion. So we start here with the beautiful little flower, this gorgeous little yellow flower. And look at all the stamens, all the heart center in that one. Like they're just, whoa, pick me, pick me. But then they turn into this beautiful big, puffball and off they set their seeds. So they're one of those flowers that we can really see the differences and really enjoy the differences, especially when you see a big field of them. But I picked this because like the fact that we don't have to be flamboyant. We don't have to be over the top to be true to who we are. We don't need to be this flower is like the ultimate introvert, in that it just goes along and does whatever. Oh, Sydney, right? It does whatever it needs to do. So this beautiful little dandelion, we can use it to make dandelion tea. It is so good for the bees. It's one of the best things for the bees. So try not to cut them down too often. It shows us our growth and our journey as we go along. And it's so I don't know. It's so there. It does everything it needs to do, but it doesn't need to be shouting it out to the world. And Brian, this is how I feel you are at the moment for this week. This week, like I said, we're talking about relationship flowers. We're talking about wealth flowers, because they're the goals this week that we want to create. And when I look at this, there's nothing in the brand. It's really, really basic. Relationship for you is really basic. You just want to be loved. You just want to love. And it doesn't have to have all the bells and whistles. It just has to be clean, crisp, and to the point. And that's what it is there. And with your finances, that's the same. You're not a type of person, as I read for Belinda earlier on, for number 11, where she needs to have finances everywhere. You don't, just in the one space. And that might mean just in your own home. That is all the wealth or the finances that you need. Or it could be coming from one direction. So it's, you've got your regular job, and that's where you're getting your finances. Whereas the one before with Belinda, she needed to get more finances from other places. She needed to look at passive income, look at all these other areas. Yours is a lot more simplistic. And that's what I like about it. It's not over the top. It's something very, very easy. It's right in the middle of the page. It's happening now. And when we look at the size of the goal and the stem on it, it's strong, it's true, it's not going to fall apart or get blown over or anything like that. It's strong enough to hold your goal. So I'm saying for you this week, don't make it difficult. Don't make it hard. Keep it simple. Keep it easy. You're in your attraction stage at the moment. This is what you're attracting. And yellow is joy. Yellow is it's just joyful. I love yellow. Yellow is bright. It's joyful. That's what you're attracting at the moment in relationships and in your wealth. But don't cloud it with stuff in the background. Keep that all blurred and just focus on the here and now for you. So that's yours, Brian. That's what you've got. I don't look like I have got any more. I've got just been in contact with a few of the venues around the Gold Coast. So I will be holding the workshops where you actually draw your own flower image or for your goal, and then we do a reading on it, and you'll really enjoy that. Like I said, I talked about one this morning that I did yesterday for a small group, and it was just so much fun. The hardest part for them is actually putting pen to paper, pencil to paper, the watercolor pencils to paper. That's the hardest part. Once they start getting that flow happening, it's so much fun. Podcast coming out this week. Can't remember who my guest is this week. I haven't actually sent them their links. I've been on a few guest podcasts now, so that you've got that all coming up too. But if you're interested if you want your own card reading or you want your own flower reading, just contact me and we can go from there. But that's it for today, because I've gone too long already. All right. Love ya, and I will see you soon. Have a great day, Leah, and enjoy Sydney to present. Enjoy that. Gosh, you should take video. I want to see it. Anyway, I better go. All right, Dale. See you later.